The opinions that you may hear us express, expressly or otherwise, over the public's airways, is in no way to represent the opinions expressed or otherwise by our management, producers, sponsors, or various members of their staffs or their families or few friends.
Nor should these views express the opinions of the broadcasters, the disc jockeys, the salesmen, the program and music directors, and their secretaries and girlfriends and wives and their staff.
Unless, of course, we are willing to assume that we can assume the responsibility that their opinions will not influence anyone else's opinions.
Or their family and friends.
And staff.
WMDX 92.7, John Peterson, Gordy Young, your guests, and we appreciate you inviting us into your home.
Good morning.
You looked at me like, guests?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Well,
you're going to get kicked out pretty quick here.
We're guests in everybody's home. We're guests in somebody's car as they're driving to work. They have us on, video-wise, on their phone and listening Bluetooth in their car stereo. And it's very intimate, very intimate.
So that makes us guests in their vehicle.
Yes.
Now I'm just picturing somebody's driving into work, and then they turn to their right. They see John Peterson in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Freak out and drive off the road.
Freak out. Or next to their steering wheel, looking right at you.
Happy Monday. Have a good weekend?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it turned out to be a really nice weekend, a perfect weekend to get outdoors.
Wonderful.
And sadly, that's the whole reason why I had to go out and work in the yard, because it was such a nice weekend.
I think a lot of people did the same thing,
Yeah?
John. Yeah, got out there. I did a little lawn work, and yeah.
Well, maybe somebody can come over and take care of the vines on the hillside of my yard.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Man, I tell you, those things, oh, wow, they have a life of their own.
What kind of vines? What do you mean? A lot of vines?
I don't know, just a lot of vines, yeah. And they cover all the bushes out there. They cover all the trees, and I'm really not happy with that. Last year, I didn't go out at all because, I have very little time to do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was.
So this year, I'm doing it. I'm definitely going to take care of the yard this year. Damn it.
Good for you.
You can't stop me, man. Don't try.
Oh, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't dare.
But, of course, you're out there taking care of the yard.
I don't have much of a yard to take care of, but I do have a little garden area.
Well, you got to scrub the concrete every now and then, right?
I do. Yes, I do.
Those concrete flowers are wonderful.
Yeah. And today's the day that they start working on the Highland Avenue exit and the UW sewer project, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, that's going to be for a few months, just right outside your apartment.
Couple of months.
Well, your home, rather,
yes.
apartment.
Couple of months of construction and trucks going by and trucks backing up. With the beep, beep, beep.
See, we actually share the same problem.
Why?
Yeah,
what do you
got
mean?
a notice in the mail the other day that the city of Middleton is warning us that the Beltline, which is right next to my house,
right,
is going to get repaved.
It is.
Yeah, all the way from my house,
yes,
front of my house, all the way to Gammon Road.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, going east.
Oh,
south and east. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why they're doing this, because I know that they paved it maybe when they redid the whole bridge in that area. They paved it, and it was blacktop, and it was really quiet. The cars when they went by, you didn't hear it.
Really?
I don't know why now they're going to repave it. I'm going to have to drive through there again. I drive through there all the time, but now I'm going to look and see what the hell they're talking about.
Problem is.
Why they need to repave the Beltline. So the Beltline's going to have major construction this summer.
Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Of course, then I'm going to have to go out and get the damn house filters again, because the dust will be insane, just like it was when they were fixing the bridge next to my house.
Oh, boy.
I'm not that close, but I'm close enough.
Yes.
High Point Road, and then there's this little tiny green space, and then it's the Beltline.
Yeah.
And when they put in those giant electrical lines.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because they didn't want to put it through the countryside. It's too beautiful out there. They wanted to use an ugly space, So they put it
Like John's backyard.
Yeah, my back. So they put it right on the belt line. They thought, well, if we put it right along the belt line,
Nobody will notice.
It's not pretty, so let's just put it there. So let's make it more ugly.
Yes. Those are enormous power line grid thing holder. I don't know what you call them.
Some
Towers.
transmission lines that
transmission towers.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Supply northern Wisconsin with electricity. Well, I'm pulling the plug. That's it.
Are you really? Okay. It was beautiful all day.
Yeah.
Yesterday and Saturday was wonderful.
Yeah.
Today's warming up a little bit more.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But right now it's a little cool, 45 degrees at the official WMDX thermometer. We try to wake up. And let's see what the afternoon high might be. What does your watch say? What is your Samsung
WMDX Samsung watch official weather?
What is,
Well, it's 49 degrees currently, it says.
Temperature's jumping up already.
And
what about the afternoon high?
86 is the predicted high.
What?
86.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking.
Well, let's roll the dice here. Or what do you got there, Sam?
We got the bar dice.
Ooh.
Well, one of them says 8, and one of them says 0. So 80,
Those
I guess.
are some special dice.
Yes, they are. Very special, magical WMDX.
I never saw a blank side on dice before.
So it's going to be warm any way you look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That must be some kind of Yahtzee dice or some kind of weird
Yahtzee.
some kind of dice that has 0 on it in large numbers.
I guess. Yeah.
We'll think of that.
Okay. Let's get to the National Day calendar. Let's whip through this thing. What is it? What is it today?
Don't take your time. Just whip through it.
Is it National Nutty Fudge Day? Is it National Yo-Yo Day? National Odometer Day? Or National Limerick Day? Which one of those days does not belong, John Peterson?
It's not National Odometer Day.
Well, you're wrong again. It is National Odometer Day. Why we need a day for that, we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sam?
One of your go-tos for trying to trick us, Gordy, has been National Yo-Yo Day, and I highly doubt that today is the actual National Yo-Yo Day.
Well, Sam, I have a surprise for you.
Yes.
You're right.
Oh, all right.
It's not National Yo-Yo Day.
I hate that. He always he see, I go first.
Yeah, he gets a better shot at it.
Yeah, he
that
gets
way.
a better shot at it.
Yeah.
We can't give him credit for actually picking the right answer.
Right. It's National Nutty Fudge Day. Do you like fudge? Do you like nuts? There you go. It's National Nutty Fudge Day. Sweet and delicious. Yeah. Next up on the big list. Yeah, okay. National Odometer Day. This was the one that seems a little odd today. An odometer is an instrument, John, that indicates the distance traveled by a vehicle. May be electronic, mechanical, or a combination of both. The word odometer comes from the Greek words hodos, H-O-D-O-S, meaning path or gateway, and metron, meaning measure. In some countries, an odometer is called a milometer. Okay?
Wow.
Or a tripometer.
It sounds like something from the 40s.
Yeah, I don't know.
A milometer.
A milometer. Yeah, that doesn't. Okay.
All right.
And it's also National Limerick Day. Do you like yourself a limerick? Okay. Anybody got any limericks that we can clean up and put on the air?
Yeah, well, they're typically very sexist.
Yeah.
Or brutal. So no.
Looking for something good here, but nah.
Really going to try to find one on the fly?
No. No, I'm not. Let's take a look at
that was scary.
Let's go to history today.
Yeah,
We've
let's
got
go to
plenty
history.
of history to talk about.
Oh, boy, the book's real dusty from over the weekend.
Well, look out.
All those graduates
I
came to
know.
town.
They're all
Lots
over
of dust
town.
everywhere.
They're walking with their parents, and, oh, boy.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you have to drive through downtown at all?
Yes.
Oh.
A couple of times.
Oh,
It was a
yeah, I
nightmare.
avoided downtown. I live like 2 blocks from the Capitol.
Yeah.
And I still avoided downtown at all costs.
Nightmare. Yeah. Well, did you open the history book?
Oh,
or?
God, I'm just
Come
trying
on.
to delay the inevitable.
Only a few more days to do this. Coffee.
It's not good. Not good. That's a lot of black smoke there from the
Yeah, why is it
the
smoking?
pulp announcement.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to teach the new producer how to open the history book and cough like you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be that hard just to cough, can it?
Well, you perfected the cough
Oh, well,
into something, that we
Into
look
something
forward to
that's
hearing.
a little excessive.
No one's ever going to be able to produce that same cough.
Might have to come up with his own thing.
Maybe I should record an album of cough sounds for the new producer.
Coughing and Crying with Sam Davison.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
well, in
what
the
hap-
history book, today in 1846, the ill-fated Donner Party embarked on their journey to California.
Okay.
The Donner
That's
Party.
wonderful.
Donner Party. Yeah.
We always heard about the Donner Party. What a wonderful group of people. I'm glad.
It was a good time.
I'm
they
glad
they
that
had
their
a good party, right?
Party worked out real well back
Right.
in 1846. It must have been a hell of a party to get it marked down on the calendar.
They had some
What
really
happened?
tasty snacks. From
Well,
what I
come on. Refresh our memory. What happened with the Donner Party?
The Donner Party got stranded on their way out to California in the middle of the winter, and they couldn't find food. Had to resort to cannibalism.
Yeah.
So a number of the people who managed to make it through the winter got found. They made it to California, but boy, what an experience!
I guess.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Let's see. Today, in 1949, the Berlin blockade ended. Part of that was the big Berlin airlift when the Allies were flying supplies in by parachute to the city.
Yeah. Okay.
Big stuff.
Got it.
This was surprising to me. Today, in 2002, Jimmy Carter, the only current or former U.S. president to visit Cuba since 1959, he visited Cuba on this day in 2002.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
We got to take back Cuba. We have to reestablish
What are you gonna do with it?
communications with Cuba. We have to reestablish some kind of exchange of tourism. We started doing that.
You just want those
what
cigars,
president?
don't you?
Yeah. Well, what president was it? It was Clinton that was doing that, or no? It was Obama that started that relationship with Cuba again, and tourist flights.
Right. Yeah. And
they were starting to get back on their feet, and things were starting to look up a little bit, and
then they got shut down.
yeah, it got shut down.
I don't know what happened. Okay.
Well,
I don't know.
Why do you want to go to Cuba, John?
Well, it's kind of fun. I mean, if you think about it, they still have
It's fun
they
there.
still have the old '50s cars.
Well,
That's
yeah,
true.
That's right.
They got a lot of old cars. Yeah.
That's true. Got a couple birthdays here. Katharine Hepburn has a birthday.
Oh.
Yogi Berra. You ever heard his yogi-isms?
Oh, sure. There's
Those are great.
tons of them. Yeah.
Yep.
George Carlin has a birthday today, and also Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk's a lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah. Skateboard
Famous
guy, right?
skateboarder, yeah. Like everybody thinks he's still in his. Well, I picture him in his early 30s, but he's older than my parents.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty old, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Gordy.
Okay.
Not really.
It is 19 minutes past the hour. When we come back, Pam Yankee will join us from the Midwest Farm Report, talking about food and farm and Alice in Dairyland. That's coming up on John and Gordy in the Morning. We're just getting started. Good morning.
Yeah, I think the other two
She just
things
sent us an email.
that were on there were bugs, Pam, and May being Mental Health Month. I forget if there's one other
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, the bugs are
Bugs are back.
attacking my house already.
Ticks.
You have a good weekend?
Yeah, busy, but good. How about you guys?
Fighting off the vines that we have taken over our landscape. So,
Oh,
A lot of yard work.
yeah.
A lot of graduation activities and
oh, right.
tons of students and their parents. Yeah,
That's
all,
right.
all over the
Right.
place.
What do they call it? Christmas?
Hippie Christmas.
Hippie Christmas. All the free furniture that people are leaving
It's
behind.
out on the curbs now, all over the place.
Yeah, do you really want it? Do you really want it?
Nope.
20 seconds.
You found something pretty cool out on the side of the road.
Well, last summer I did, but then there were bed bugs in it.
Yeah, well, see,
What was it? A
There's our
couch?
segue. There's our segue
yeah,
right
exactly.
there.
Good segment.
right.
Here we go.
This is where the action is. WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy.
It's a beautiful morning. Temperatures in the 40s, though, a little cool, but it's going to warm up nicely into the 80s later on today. Time
And-
for us to
yeah.
welcome in Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report.
She heard this is where the action is.
That's
and
right.
We have her on the line right now.
Good morning, Pam.
Morning, guys. Morning, guys. Yeah, you're right. It is going to get warm and sticky out there today for sure.
Oh, yeah. The high humidities and probably high dew points, which I'm allergic to.
You're allergic to the dew point?
I can't handle dew points.
Yeah. Well, now we've got...
Wrong state.
And we've
Yeah.
got all this hippie Christmas going on with the furniture. The
Graduates,
kids.
the graduates are gone now.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
let's get to Alice in Dairyland. We didn't get to the last
Oh,
time
yeah.
we talked, but how's that thing going?
Well, so this is the big week for the 6 candidates that want to be the next Alice in Dairyland. The 78th annual Alice in Dairyland selection process will start later this week, Thursday, in Crawford County. So we've got 6 young women that would like to be the spokesperson for Wisconsin agriculture. Now, remember, this is a paid position through the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. Basically, she's in the marketing division. I think last time I looked, the salary is $45,000. Obviously, gets a state car and all that type of thing, and a lot of road miles. On average, they put on around 40,000 miles in the year that they serve as Alice, and it can deviate quite a little bit. But they'll head towards Prairie du Chien on Thursday and be around Crawford County doing tours of different businesses, farms, etc. Then on Saturday night is the finale. They'll start with the banquet around 4 o'clock, banquet reception, and then wrap it up that evening with the announcement of who our next Alice is. And I got to tell you guys, I know that most of the girls that are up for the position this year, and it is a strong field of candidates. I mean, we're not going to go wrong with any of them. But like I said, just a really, really competitive field of young professionals that want to be a part of this campaign. I thought it was interesting. I was looking back at the history. This actually started back in 1914, and it really was to raise awareness on the diversity of Wisconsin agriculture, but it was really more of a beauty pageant back then.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. They make no bones about that, but it's definitely morphed and transformed a lot of different ways today. So I wish the 6 of them best of luck. It's going to be a tough decision for the judges.
That's right. A lot of women entrepreneurs are getting into farming. It's a great thing. It really is. Who's going to be the crazy Mad Cheese Hatter this year.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm just making it up. You know, it's Alice in Wonderland, Alice in Cheeseland, Alice in Dairyland. Come on, you guys.
Okay.
Is this the way it goes with you guys on Mondays, making it up, that kind of thing? Come on.
Yes.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, right. Well, you were mentioning hippie Christmas and all the goodies that somebody's going to be enticed to try to pick up off the streets.
Yeah.
And I believe there was conversation about what comes along with that. Speaking of which,
Yes.
and due point, you may notice that you're starting to make those involuntary gestures, swatting in the sky.
Absolutely.
More and more this week.
Yeah.
PJ Leash, our University Extension entomologist, said that the insect counts are on the climb. And that's not just important for those of us that get irritated by mosquitoes and worry about ticks. Farmers are also going to have to keep an eye on insects. He told me that they have been tracking kind of the migratory pattern, the swarms of bugs that get carried up to Wisconsin on the wind patterns. And you and I both know winds have been pretty strong over the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
So we've got some really big numbers coming of blackleaf cutworms and armyworms, which are two really devastating insects that can take really damage our crops a lot. So farmers are going to have to keep an eye on that. A lot of farmers, if you drive out in the country and see our alfalfa fields, big lush green fields, that's another place where alfalfa weevil like to move in. So keep an eye out for that. If you were out and about this weekend, check for ticks on you, your kids, your dogs, because PJ said with the mild winter that we had in Wisconsin, ticks have actually been very active for probably the past couple of months. They do not necessarily slow down a lot. Well, they do slow down a lot, but once that snow disappears, they can be crawling all over the place. So check yourself if you were out hiking or in the wild over the weekend.
There's a kind of a new worm infestation that's taking place that eats the soil and destroys the soil.
What?
Yeah.
Well, and we've got other insects that are all screwworm is something that our livestock industry is monitoring in the south right now. That can actually kill cattle. I'm trying to bone up on it myself. We haven't seen it in Wisconsin, but boy, it is devastating to cattle herds that get it. You know, and I was mentioning about mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We all know that is coming around Wisconsin. Can't get away from that. But PJ told me, and this just makes me wring my hands even more, that Wisconsin is home to 55 different species of mosquitoes.
Wow.
So
man.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
To me, they all look the same on the back of my hand. But it's 55 different species.
Yeah.
So, that's why we love to talk to PJ. He's always got something up his sleeve that educates us on what we thought we already knew. So.
55 mosquitoes up his sleeve. That's what he's got.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
And
I can't imagine his job.
Oh, no.
For sure.
No. How about Mental Health Month? Let's touch on that briefly.
Only got a minute left here. But
Yeah, that's all right. We'll talk about it again, I'm sure. Just reminding people that May is Mental Health Month. And just like all of us, farmers are dealing with a lot of stress right now. So if you can help minimize that by being respectful when you're sharing roadways with that large farm equipment, they've just got to try to get this done before the rain moves in later this week. Visibility on their machinery can be difficult, so don't make any foolish moves that add stress to everybody's life. But just kind of remember that farmers are under a lot of stress, as is everybody else. There are resources available, so reach out if you need them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
thank you, Pam.
All
Very
right, guys.
good. That's Pam Yankee from
Yeah.
the Midwest Farm Report, which is coming up next here on WMDX. Everything about food and farm and agriculture. Yes, John?
Well, Catherine says it was Pam Alice once. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Forgot to ask her that. Well, next time. We'll talk to her.
All
Friday.
right.
We'll be back with more of John and Gordy.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
This is grade A, weapons grade stupidity.
Just doing my civic duty, sir.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Well, we've got a few interesting people talking about Idiocracy next hour.
Really?
Yeah, Charlie Sykes had a guest on from The Atlantic, writer, and he was talking about how he can't watch that that movie anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay.
But just thought I'd mention it because this is Idiocracy time again. Every day, each and every day is.
At 6:36, that's right. We're right on time. And we've got sunshine out there this morning, John.
It's a beautiful morning.
It was great all weekend long, and it's going to continue today. Highs in the 80s. Right now, we're in the 40s. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning brought to you by our friends at Madison Hearing Aid Center. They're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. You can call them for an appointment, 608-249-4077. Maybe if you're in a situation you're having trouble, listening to what somebody's saying, if you're in a crowd,
right.
You've got some
even
background
at a
noise. Or at a concert, like Sam was at a concert over the weekend. Of course, there was loud, bang, bang, rock and roll music playing. Of course, that's going to be a problem. But if you're just, out and about in a conversation with people, maybe you can't hear because of loud background noise, you need to call Jim or Sarah at Madison Hearing Aid Center. They help John Peterson, and they can help you too.
Well, they
right,
did.
John?
They did help me out quite a bit. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Don't let hearing loss or hearing aids frustrate you. They can help you out. You can get your hearing tested also online at MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. They have a starter test there, but it's best to make an appointment. Give them a call, 608-249-4077. Madison Hearing Aid Center, 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison.
I keep saying that we need anti-hearing aids, especially since we're here in Idiocracy. Yeah, and we can use AI with hearing aids now. Why don't we train AI hearing aids whenever they detect a certain person's voice, say Donald Trump, to just add in a little noise cancellation?
True.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Well, it also could act as a community notes, right? I mean, the AI could check on whether something is true or false. It could block out anything that is false.
So you wouldn't hear anything anyway.
Yes,
okay.
It'd be a quiet world. Well, a lot of peace there. Something just occurred to me. We were talking about Alice in Dairyland.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Maybe Alice Cooper could be a special guest at Alice in Dairyland.
What would he do?
I heard a story. I was listening to some music this morning on Sirius, and they were talking about how Alice Cooper and his original band is getting back together again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they were some real, true rock and rollers.
Yes.
And as I mentioned before, that was the very first rock and roll concert I was ever taken to.
Was that in Milwaukee?
Yes, it was. Yeah. I'd seen James Brown before that with my sister, but that's not rock and roll. When I saw Alice Cooper, it blew my mind. It was really, really great. A lot of showmanship. They didn't have all the animals and crazy creatures on stage as they did later on in the Alice Cooper concerts, but
they didn't have the snake or the.
I don't believe they
guillotine?
did. No, they had
guillotine.
They had the tooth. The tooth. But remember the dentist pulling Alice Cooper's tooth out?
Yeah. I never saw him in concert, but I do recall that was part of the
There's
act.
some song, Sweet.
Did he give his speech on Milwaukee from Wayne's World when you were there?
Did he?
Yeah,
No.
I'm asking you.
No.
If he was playing in Milwaukee, did he talk about...
I don't remember.
It
was my very first concert.
Do you realize what, or are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not.
In Wayne's World, Wayne and Garth go backstage to meet Alice Cooper, and he goes on and on about the history of Milwaukee. He's a history buff or something like that.
Well, that's fantastic.
Okay.
I will definitely look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to check that
Maybe we can
out.
get something on that here.
Yeah.
We can drop it into the show every once in a while.
All right.
But anyway, yes, Alice Cooper in Dairyland. Why
Well,
not?
We'll bring that up with Pam Yonke. Maybe she has some, strings she can pull.
Hey, we're living in idiocracy.
Okay.
What do you expect?
Okay.
All right, let's, Kash Patel is a crazy guy.
What did he do? What did he do now?
Well, he was being grilled over the fact that a report is due from the FBI, and he has not gotten that report done.
A budget. He was supposed to put together a budget.
So why don't we listen to this cut here? This is Cash saying that he'll get to it. He'll get to it. The thing is, they keep saying that he flies to Vegas because he has a home there, and he's always there, and he goes out at night in Vegas. He's always it's like he doesn't take it seriously, and that's not me saying it. That's what the stories are talking about. So, okay, let's listen to Kash Patel's interesting reasons for not having that budget report in.
So, Director Patel, when should we expect this FY25 spend plan for the FBI? Have you seen it? Have you reviewed it? When will we get it?
I'll get you an answer, ma'am. I don't have a timeline on that.
It was due last week by law.
I understand.
And your answer is you just understand. You're not going to follow the law?
My answer is that I am following the law, and I'm working with my interagency partners to do this and get you the budget that you are required to have.
And you have no timeline?
No.
Okay.
Wow. So if you're breaking the law, but you still don't have a timeline, and he doesn't seem to be in a hurry to come up with one.
The least he could do is treat it like if he's a kid in school, and this was like some major project.
Homework assignment.
He could at least do a half-assed version of it and turn it in.
Yeah, my dog ate the report.
Right.
But here's the thing, he doesn't seem to be in a rush to even try to convince the people interviewing him that maybe he should get it done.
There's no deadline.
And even though he is breaking the law by not having that report in, he says he's still following the law. Now, that's the part that drives me absolutely crazy. What? This is how they do it, right? This is how they get into your head and start driving you absolutely nuts. And I walked around all day yesterday thinking, what is he trying to say there?
No, he's just ignoring it.
Yeah.
It'll go away, apparently, if you don't do it at all, and they'll stop asking questions. Yeah.
And in no rush. Well, I'm going to
rush.
come up with a timeline. I'll get it to you right away. That report is in the mail. No promises, folks. No promises at all.
Nope.
Okay, and we're going through this big deportation problem, and I truly think it's a way that Trump inadvertently, but eventually, came around to thinking this is a way to terrorize America, to scare people, to think that people who are walking around on the streets can be disappeared instantly. They can be taken away. They're taking after a lot of moms. For some reason, they're capturing moms out there because they're pretty dangerous. Pulling babies out of their arms and then deporting moms. Yeah, they're going after the moms. I've got like 3 or 4 stories we haven't even gotten to on this show. I'm just waiting to play them. But yes, these moms are being taken away in front of their families. It's cruelty beyond anything. But anyway, this is a way to terrorize the rest of the country. And we wouldn't have to be going through this if they had passed that immigration bill. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Trump said, don't pass that immigration bill? We're running on this.
Right.
And because this is a way to terrorize the country, he needed this. And Senator Jim Langford had this to say about how all of this could have been prevented. Let's listen to cut 67 here. This is Jim Langford.
Looking back on the compromise you forged on immigration, do you think we'd be better off if that had happened? Or are we better off now that it didn't happen and we just have a different president?
No, we do have a different president that's using the same law that's been there for decades and actually enforcing it, and we're seeing very different outcomes. Thinking about the bill that passed, it should have passed. It would have fixed a lot of the loopholes that are in the law, and it would have been easier to be able to do enforcement now. Because one of the challenges that we have is our asylum laws do include a lot of loopholes in them that cartels have exploited for years. They become experts in exploiting our law because it's billions of dollars of income to them when they can find those loopholes and gaps. I heard a commentator just last week saying the courts are challenging these different ways that President Trump is enforcing the law. Somebody needs to bring up a bill. True story. Somebody needs to bring up a bill to be able to close some of these loopholes. And it was a conservative commentator that was saying it, and I laughed and I thought, I know somebody that's brought one of them.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy, and I know a bill that could do that. Now, was the bill everything that I wanted? No. I'm negotiating with the Democrat White House at the time to be able to get it done. But many of the areas that we need to close the loopholes were in that bill. And some form of that we will eventually get done.
And if I read that bill legislative summary correctly, would have had more of the personnel to adjudicate things faster.
Right. Yeah, we were adding more judges, we were adding more ICE agents, we were adding more Border Patrol agents, we added more border wall. We added additional funding that the administration is looking for now would have already been there on January 1 to be able to be there and ready to be able to go when the new White House is actually sworn in.
So now, we would be better off if I hear you correctly.
I do believe we would be, and I think the other thing is last year we had 1 million people that illegally crossed our border after that bill failed. That 1 million people wouldn't have been here.
That's right.
Wow.
So all
And
of
again,
this
who-
could have been avoided.
Who was that?
That's Senator Jim Langford.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's the guy who turned him in originally. He's always been talking about this. They had this bill agreed to, everybody was on board, and then they got, the word from Trump, elect president at the time, saying don't use it, don't bring that up, don't pass it because we don't want the one issue that we have here. Remember, immigrants were eating dogs and cats at the time. They really went overboard pushing this.
This was the one big issue they had.
They didn't want to wreck that great idea. So, wow. I know. It's bad stuff. But it could have been avoided, and I just wanted to bring that up and let everybody know. And this is, of course, another episode of Idiocracy.
Phone lines are open, 608-879-8255. You can call us or text us. You can do it the easy way, though, on the Civic Media app. Just download it at the Apple Store or Google and use it. You can text us or call us. This portion of the show being brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing that remains constant since 1958, they are still direct-to-consumer and provide superior products at unbeatable prices. 2 locations here in Madison on the east side and on the west side. Go to verlo.com for more information.
Sweet.
Okay? All right.
Yeah.
Coming up in our next hour, we're going to talk to Jennifer McFarlane from Comfy Cauldron in Deforest. They have a Slice of Heaven market happening. We'll be finding out all about that.
Just a slice?
Well, a slice of heaven, though. So all you need is a slice, because you're talking about heaven, I guess. We'll find out. I don't know.
Heaven doesn't pass out a lot of food, and you should be happy with what you get.
Okay. 6:48. We're coming back with more of Idiocracy. Yeah. Right here on John and Gordy in the Morning. Slice.
92.7. John and Gordy in the morning, one of the great songs from my past.
Alice
18.
Cooper. Yeah. Good stuff.
I love this
Crank
stuff.
it up.
Yeah.
Crank it up.
Here.
Yeah.
Lines form from the ups and downs. I'm in the middle without any plans. I'm a boy and I'm a man.
I'm
18 and I don't know what I am.
18. Great song.
Teen
Now,
angst there.
Why are we playing this again? Because that was your first concert, right?
First major concert that,
Alice
that I
Cooper.
went to, besides James Brown before that, but that was soul music. This was rock and roll, and it changed my life completely. And you said you saw a great clip of Alice talking about Milwaukee, my hometown.
That's right. It's from Wayne's World.
All right.
Wayne's World takes place in
Well,
Milwaukee,
let's
right?
listen to that clip.
Yeah,
then.
we found it.
All right, great.
So, do you come to Milwaukee often?
Well, I'm a regular visitor here, but Milwaukee has certainly had its share of visitors. The French missionaries and explorers were coming here as early as the late 1600s to trade with the Native Americans.
In fact, isn't Milwaukee an Indian name?
Yes, Pete, it is. Actually, it's pronounced Miliwake, which is Algonquin for the good land.
I was not aware of that.
I think one of the most interesting aspects of Milwaukee is the fact that it's the only major American city to have ever elected 3 socialist mayors.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
Huh?
Huh? Huh. Okay. Well, we gotta get going.
No. Stick around. Hang out with us.
Cool. Yeah, we'll stay and hang around with you. With Alice Cooper.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Oh, that is too much. It really is.
Wayne and Garth and Alice.
Yeah, that's great. That is truly great stuff. I didn't hear that, and I'm so proud of my hometown now.
The good land.
Yes. It didn't sound like they really wanted a history lesson, but
They got it anyway.
they sure did.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Or at least it was pronounced like that. That's that's tremendous stuff. All right, let's get to something that everybody's talking about now, and it's this crazy gift.
Oh no, the $400 million jet.
Yeah,
from Saudi Arabia.
That's
to
right.
Donald Trump.
In exchange, of course, Donald Trump announced that he has a $5.5 billion golf course and Trump Resort in Qatar. So Qatar said, you know what? We have this extra jetliner. It's like a castle in the sky or something like that.
It's extra.
We're just gonna pass it along to you. That's fine. Wow.
Why would they do this?
Well,
I mean,
you would think it was a quid pro quo, right? I mean, something like that. It sure sounds like it to me. It sounds like a corrupt deal of payoff time.
Don't think it's really legal to do that. Are there some sort of rules, some regulations about gifts?
I think there is something about that in the
officials?
Constitution, but of course no one's following the Constitution anymore, except when they're told to by the Supreme Court, which is run by Republicans now, and they're really not out there trying to do anything. Before we get to this story, let's go to Joe first. All right, let's take this call. Joe, good to hear from you again.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey guys, I just wanted to chime in a little bit more on Kash Patel, and it does play into what you're talking about. Rolling Stone added a few more comments beyond what Senator Patty Murray said when Kash Patel showed up to a budget hearing, where by law he's supposed to have a budget, and he doesn't, and has no timeline.
But he is following the law, even though he's not really following the law.
Yeah, right. Well, it gets better. Apparently, Senator Merkley out of Oregon was questioning him about the Trump's administration policy of deporting immigrants without due process, and asking whether the FBI would investigate this because it's against the law. Because the Constitution specifically says due process to all people, not just citizens, all people. And the Supreme Court has reaffirmed this, that it extends to undocumented immigrants. And so Patel says this is just like this is how you can start your work week, because Merkley says that's what the Constitution says, and Patel responds, responds, no, it doesn't say that, and simultaneously insisting that he reads the Constitution every day.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Sure he does.
Sure.
That's why he doesn't have the budget done, because he's busy reading the Constitution
Oh, yeah,
every
that's
day.
true.
You know,
That's
that
true.
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes. Oh.
So that's his good excuse. Instead of, the dog ate my homework or somebody made a boo-boo with a computer and we lost the budget, you can now say he's busy reading the Constitution.
And it's taken him a long time to get through it.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Joe. Thank you. That's great stuff. All right. Again, with this Qatar deal now, the $5.5 billion golf course and Trump resort being in exchange now. We didn't know.
What?
For a jet airliner.
Wait.
I mean, that's what's going to happen here, right?
Wait, he's exchanging a golf course for what?
He was allowed a golf course and Trump resort in Qatar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, to build one.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And in exchange, again, a quid pro quo. Hey, what they're going to do over there, they're going to give them a jet airliner. So Ron Flipkowski, normal everyday journalist out there, he wrote, disgusting, naked, open, blatant corruption, whether it is crypto, Trump media stocks, real estate developments, license deals, or jets, foreign governments continue to buy our presidency by bribing our criminal president. Jonathan Carl wrote, President Trump is poised to accept a luxury jet as a gift from Qatar. It's to be used for Air Force One and then transferred to the Trump Library in 2029, perhaps the biggest foreign gift ever. Department of Justice insists it's legal, not bribery, not a violation of the Emoluments Clause.
Okay.
It's legal somehow. All right.
We'll keep following that story. It's got some legs. Okay.
I think so.
6:59. In our next hour, we'll talk to Jennifer McFarlane from Comfy Cauldron in Deforest. Stay with us.
Let the sunshine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
transmitted by wire.
Here is the latest news brought into your own living room.
You'll be hard to satisfy with anything less.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Talk is cheap.
Gib. Always gossiping.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
This is Hi-Fi Plus.
And that's the way it is.
We'll do it live.
On 92.7 FM, WMDX. Take it away, boys.
Oh, yeah. We'll take it away. WMDX. I just love looking out the WMDX weather window. It's always right.
It's bright and sunny.
Sunny.
Yes. It's going to be gorgeous all day long. Really warm this afternoon. Highs right around 80. Yes, Sam?
John, what if I put a great big TV outside in front of the WMDX weather window just to trick you?
Trick me, yes.
Yeah, put some fake weather up on that TV. How do you know that the WMDX weather window is real?
I hear rumblings of that. Don't try it, man. Don't try.
Okay.
Unless it's OLED, then I'll let it pass.
Then you'll just watch TV instead
yes,
of doing
I
the
will.
show.
Yes, give me the remote, and I'll be here forever. All right, we've got a phone call before we continue with the quid pro quo. The resort in Qatar.
The
and
big
Qatar
jet
saying,
airliner.
"Hey, you get a big jet airliner."
Yeah.
Well, how is that? All right. Well, it's not a violation of the Constitution whatsoever, at least according to Pam Bondi.
Okay.
Why don't we take Dick here? He's on the line right now. Let's take this call. Dick, what do you got for us today?
Well, it's Air Force One as of now, but as of the delivery of this, it's going to be the world's largest eavesdropping device. I mean, seriously?
Really?
Yeah. You think there might be some bugs in it? It might be some bugs in that for.
Yes, I think so, possibly. Don't you? I mean, really? You remember the first term, he had all the Russians to the White House, and they didn't do any checking for bugging devices or anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So this plane, it's going to be the world's largest eavesdropping device.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, they're going over that airline right now.
Oh, really?
The U.S. government is going in there, and they're preparing it for the president because the president gets special equipment in that airline.
Sure. Okay.
That's what they're saying. So maybe they'll be checking for bugs, Dick. I hope they are anyway. Thanks for reminding us of that. I forgot all about that.
Well, Pam Yaki did say that it's bug season
Oh,
again.
yeah, you're right. There it is.
That's it.
Ooh, there's the hint.
Maybe. Well, I told the story in the break right before she was on. I picked up a piece of furniture off the side of the road last summer, and it was filled with bed bugs. Maybe Qatar is going to play a prank on President Trump.
Could be.
Fill it with bed bugs.
Could be. But, the right wing wants to change the violation of the Constitution into something positive. More
the
emoluments clause. Yeah, they want to make believe that that doesn't exist. So this is what they said, and this is just one comment that I thought was perfect. Here it is: lying propaganda puppet John Carr, who by the way did the story on this, has been caught again. In community notes, none of this is true. Boeing is so far behind with the AF-1 order that a Florida defense contractor overhauled a 747 once used by Qatari government. All you do is lie. Now it's so filled with, missing information here. First of all, this Boeing AF-1 was owned by Qatar at one time.
Okay.
And that's the one they're donating to Trump. They're giving it to Trump.
Just a gift.
Yes, it's a gift. And this defense contractor is overhauling it. Well, that's a defense contractor. Again, they're fixing it up for the president. They're adding certain facilities within this, certain equipment in order to protect the president.
Right.
So, no, this isn't some idea, I don't even know what they're trying to say, but they're trying to say it's not really happening. It's not a quid pro quo at all, and it certainly is, all right?
Well, wait, but isn't this connected to the golf course that Trump is?
Yeah, the resort in Qatar.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what they want to build, or they already built it?
No, the plan is to build that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's not a quid pro quo.
No.
Okay.
No, definitely. Definitely not that. It's a $5.5 billion golf course and resort. Oh, Trump Resort in Qatar. And so, Qatar thought, well, the president deserves a luxury jet, castle in the sky.
Doesn't seem like an even $5 billion resort, $400 million jet.
Oh,
it's not exactly
no. So maybe
trade.
Maybe he can do that. It's not a lie.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Now I want to get to something here. We have look. I got to tell you this. Charlie Sykes. A lot of people don't like Charlie Sykes to this day because of what he did during the Scott Walker era. And I understand that completely because I was there. I watched and listened, and WTMJ had a huge signal throughout the entire state and influenced a lot of people into believing that Scott Walker would be a good governor. In fact, he was a great governor all the time he was governor because of Charlie Sykes. But I forgave Charlie Sykes.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think he saw the light. That's me, okay? A lot of people.
That was your doing?
A lot of people. No, a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I have proof now that he has changed completely.
Really?
The conversion from the dark side is now complete, and Charlie Sykes has joined the resistance.
Yes,
Gordy.
Okay. Tell us how this has happened.
Well, Sykes said this about the current Star Wars series on Disney, Andor. He said this: it probably helps if you're a Star Wars fan, but it's not strictly necessary to appreciate the power of the speech delivered by Senator Mon Mothma in the latest episode of Andor. Now, I'm on episode 5 now, but here it is. The whole second season has been a masterful portrayal of an authoritarianism, disinformation, brutality, and resistance. But this episode is extraordinary for its timelessness and its eloquence. Here is that speech, and it's really a cool speech. You got to hear this thing, okay? A lot of little cuts are interspersed in this, but this is right from the series. It's Andor's Senator Mon Mothma. She's a wonderful woman. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Fellow senators, friends, colleagues, allies, adversaries. I stand before you this morning with a heavy heart. I believe we are in crisis.
Continued and inexplicable Gorman resistance to imperial norms.
The distance between what is said and what is known to be true
All the propaganda
has become an abyss.
Terrorism strikes again in Gorman.
They don't even bother to lie badly anymore. I suppose that's the final humiliation.
Of all the things at risk, the loss of an objective reality is perhaps the most dangerous.
With the right ideas, planted in the right markets, we can weaponize galactic opinion.
The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil.
The only story that matters is Gorman aggression.
When truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it is ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest. This chamber's hold on the truth was finally lost on the Gorman Plaza. What took place yesterday was unprovoked genocide. Cowards! And that truth has been exiled from this chamber. Is there no one who can help us? And the monster screaming the loudest, the monster we've helped create, the monster who will come for us all soon enough. is Emperor Palpatine.
There you go. The monster we helped create. Huh?
Okay.
Trump. Wow. It's the second season of Andor. It's a scary reminder of today's America becoming a corrupt, fascist, authoritarian kleptocracy. This is a comment, by the way. I am finding it hard to watch it as it is so scary and realistic. Doesn't feel like science fiction. And here's another comment. The whole speech is great, but the death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil is a good resistance slogan. America needs this particular speech. And by the way, in this conversation over Andor that Charlie Sykes had, he had it with Atlantic writer Tom Nichols, okay? Now, I'm bringing this up because this is very important to our program. We have Idiocracy, right? We pass along those stories to you, but here is a conversation with Tom Nichols talking about Idiocracy. Let's hear it.
I mean, how do you catch up with the reality of today where we have Jeanine Pirro named the acting U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C.? I mean, seriously. Or this Dr. Casey Means, who is the new Surgeon General, and apparently Lorda Loomer is playing a significant role in the selection and the critique. I mean, I'm sorry. I think the producers of Idiocracy should sue our timeline for plagiarism.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's creepy. I can't watch Idiocracy anymore. I mean, I used to really laugh at it. And now I'm like, it's just too on the nose. I can't. And like at night when I'm watching ads, and everything is about, our many medical problems and, mail order Viagra. And, I'm like, poor Mike Judge must be feeling like the world just ripped him off.
Mike Judge, of course, wrote the movie, and it's just a fantastic film. Now, I mentioned that when I first saw the movie, I thought, well, this is absolutely ridiculous, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, right.
And now I'm looking at it, where I think, what is it? A wrestler becomes president, and he brings out a AK-47 or something.
Yeah, keeps the peace with a machine gun when the crowd gets too loud.
Just unbelievable stuff.
When did they make that? It was like 10 years ago?
I don't
2005, I think.
Oh, okay.
Really? 2005. Wow.
So Idiocracy has become real.
It's a scary time.
Or even the writer for The Atlantic can't watch it anymore because it's too close.
I know it.
And Trump keeps hiring the craziest people to be part of his administration. It's beyond words at this point.
It is. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing remains constant since they opened their doors way back in 1958. They are still direct to consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. Check out their locations on the east side or west side of Madison, or just go to verlo.com, and also you can find their lifetime comfort guarantee right there, verlo.com. All right, coming up, we're going to check the weather, and then also in just about 15 minutes or so, Jennifer McFarlane from Comfy Cauldron in Deforest will join us. Stay with us for more of John and Gordy.
92.7. John and Gordy in the morning as we cruise through some of the hottest and latest topics of idiocracy.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by our friends at Madison Hearing Aid Center. They're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. They have fast and flexible appointments. They're family-owned, and Jim and Sarah at Madison Hearing Aid Center, they help John Peterson. They can help you. Anybody that can help John.
He needs a lot. He needs a lot of help.
Let Jim test your hearing. You're on your way back to hearing like you were in your 20s.
That's right. Yes.
Right? Is that what you've experienced? Do you feel like you're in your 20s?
Yeah, you kind of get used to it. Normalizes, when you lose your hearing, especially the high end usually.
Right.
You lose that, but it's normalized. You think, well, you don't really notice it until you take the hearing test, which, Jim provides, and then you find out what you exactly need for your hearing aid. And how they tune it there. And then, of course, you can set the tuning a little bit more on your app, on your phone. So it really helps a lot.
App on your phone, and it's got a Bluetooth availability, connectivity. So check them out, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. They're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road.
It uses AI in order to interpret your background noise and information, and it can block it out if you'd like.
You found it to be really helpful.
It is really great.
For a couple of weeks. Good deal. All right. We have Mark waiting on the
line.
line.
Let's go to the phone.
He's got Mark waiting on 2 lines.
How is that possible? 608-879-8255 is our number, or you can always contact us on the Civic Media app by text or phone. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I checked on my cell phone. I tried calling on that first. I mean, Trump is just a example of a violation of the Emoluments Clause and how they can actually say, well, no violation of the Emoluments Clause, because Congress has not approved, Trump's acceptance of this gift from, because that's how you could make it actually legitimate, but it certainly is not. I mean, Trump is. I advise people to go out there and get a copy of the Federalist Papers. There's some nice annotated versions of that, because Trump is just an example of what Hamilton pointed out that a president could become in 75, interest in own self-aggrandizement and enriching himself, at the betraying the interests of his constituents, for his own self-gain. I mean, that he is, I think, what the anti-federalists feared, that the president would become this imperial king thing, with surrounded by minions and mistresses, with issuing forth his murdering janissaries as he illustrated in '69. Federalist 67. That I think it is just the anti-federalists were concerned the president would crown himself a king, and that he would just be surrounded with minions and mistresses and have his own little we'd call today what they called back then janissaries, but Trump has his ICE troops going out there and roughing people up and wearing masks, and I mean, I'm just amazed that some of those guys in the black masks haven't gotten shot, because they were supposedly stand your ground in this state, and you see somebody getting assaulted by people not actually wearing a uniform, wearing some black suit with no badges or anything like that, and you don't know if they're gang members or or what?
You brought up a really good point. This is something I was going to focus on as well, and since I've done research on it, I also have a real fear of these people just now. I don't know, just anybody going out and grabbing people for trafficking reasons or whatever it is. They can steal people off the streets and disappear them, and we don't know where they're going to end up or who's doing it, because they don't have a uniform. And I looked it up, but ICE agents don't require a uniform, but they must have identification posted on their clothing. So I know it freaks me out that these people are in jeans, they're up in, they're cosplaying militia members, right? And it could be anybody stealing people off the street and throwing them in a truck.
Right.
That's my fear, as well as I know it's your fear.
And the Constitution itself, before we even got to the Bill of Rights, they actually said all crimes require a trial by jury. I mean, that it is just, and if these people have indeed committed a crime, then they're entitled to due process even before you get to the Bill of Rights. They're entitled to trial by jury. I mean, because you can't just say, unless they're just saying that because, as from my understanding, the immigration laws are not a violation. It's not a crime. It's a I don't know the definition, but it's not actually a crime. It's some other kind of violation that has happened. But I mean that we have to adhere to the Constitution. Cash Patel's better pull his head, actually read the Constitution rather than pretending he's reading and flying down to Las Vegas to be with his boyfriend.
I know.
I mean that.
Okay. It's pretty bad.
Thanks, guys.
All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had to look into it because I was thinking, why don't we have a uniform for ICE agents so we can identify who they are? But they don't have to have a uniform, but they do have to wear a badge identifying who they are. They should also, by the way, have a requirement to show some kind of identification, or at least a warrant signed by other ICE agents. Wow, that's really official.
Or it could just be, you don't know who it is. It could be a vigilante on their own, pretending to be an ICE agent, just coming in and
they're
ripping
acting like
people.
that.
Yes.
They're not showing identification. They don't wear the identification. And then, of course, they ban protesters from wearing masks, but ICE agents can wear masks. They don't have to show their face.
Exactly.
That's also part of the law.
Part of the deal. Okay. 729, this portion of John and Gordy, brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. One thing remains constant since 1958. They are still direct-to-consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. 2 locations in Madison, East Side and West Side. Go to Verlo.com. Coming up shortly, we're going to talk to Jennifer McFarlane from Comfy Cauldron, find out about the second annual Slice of Heaven going on very soon in
Can't believe we
Deforest.
don't get the whole piece of heaven.
Well, a slice should be good enough for us, Sam. We'll find out more about it coming
Maybe
up.
it's too much
On John and Gordy.
American dream is killing me when it's all double talk of insanity. The American dream is killing me.
It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Well, the Catholic Church has elected the first ever pope from America. And as an American Catholic, I could not be more proud, which is a sin, and now I'm ashamed. The Vatican has selected Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who is from the south side of Chicago, to be the new pope. And you can tell he's from the south side because he's got his hands up. I also love that conservatives are already complaining that this pope is too woke. How woke can a 69-year-old man from Chicago be? It's not like he came out and was like, hey, I'm Pope Leo the 14th, he, him. The reality is there are no woke Catholics. If you're a woke Catholic, you're just not Catholic anymore.
President Trump said he was interested in reopening Alcatraz because it represents something horrible and beautiful and strong and miserable and weak, which are also his nicknames for his 5 children.
A new report shows that there have been at least 9 incidents at Newark Airport where air traffic controllers have lost contact with planes that were about to land. But luckily, it's Newark, so planes can just follow the smell.
Good stuff. Well, it was a funny Saturday Night Live this
Good show,
time.
yeah.
All right, this is WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning.
7:36, beautiful sunshine today, warming up to the low 80s this afternoon. It's going to be nice and warm for the next few days. Maybe some stormy weather by Thursday or Friday.
Might have to jump in the lake again. Did I even tell you guys that?
What happened
again?
Is this
again
what you did over
That's
the
right,
weekend?
John.
What'd you do?
Well, apparently it's a thing for some graduates from UW to show up the day after graduation at sunrise to the Memorial Union Terrace and jump into the lake. So I showed up. I wasn't graduating even. I showed up to the terrace 5:45 in the morning. It was cold out. The air temperature was like 40 degrees, and I jumped in the lake.
You were the only one there?
Dipping
were
thing?
the only one there?
No, I wasn't. I got a picture. The dock, one of the docks out there was full of people.
Really?
There were a bunch of people on the shoreline, yeah.
Okay.
You know, there's a whole side of you I don't know.
I'm a man of mystery.
Yes, you are.
We've been working with you for a year and a half, and we still don't know,
all the
your
crazy
secret
things that you have
side.
done in your short lifetime.
Okay.
Gen Zers, I'll try anything.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, coming up, we're going to be talking with Jennifer McFarlane from the Comfy Cauldron, and we'll find out about a big event they're having there, Slice of Heaven.
You know, I don't
Deforest.
usually think of as a cauldron as being very comfy. Usually you cook in a cauldron.
Yeah, it's like a kettle, right?
I don't think of being cooked as very comfortable.
Well, she'll explain it to us.
All right. Doug mentions Trump is
Trump
23 Fox on-air personalities so far for his administration. This may be the way to pump new life into the John and Gordy show, too.
What?
How about hiring Fox News' Peter Ducey to expand your show to threesome? Well, I think that might be it right there.
Yeah, because he's leaving the morning show, Peter Ducey, after many years there.
Well, let's pick him up.
You think
so?
so?
That'd be kind of fun, having somebody ask the questions he asks.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's get to this. Well, while we are here, in the studio, I thought this was just hilarious.
What's that?
Can I get to this? Did you want to get to something first?
Well, I do. Well, sure. I want to remind Wednesday. I want to remind everybody we're going to be at Short Stack Eatery. We used to go there every Wednesday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, stop by if you can.
Yeah, they're closing down in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're moving on and doing something else. But we wanted to have one more broadcast from Short Stack, so we're going to do that this coming Wednesday morning. And remember our young friend Zenon? He's going to be joining us.
Oh, excellent! Yeah. Yes,
I think he's a freshman now in high school.
I think so, and I think he's
just finished his freshman year. Yeah,
nearly 7 foot tall. I understand. Well, quite the growth spurt.
We'll catch up
I
with
wonder
him.
if we're gonna witness another explosion out in the street like happened at Short Stack once before.
Why would you say that? Don't give anybody any ideas, okay?
You just gave away the big
last
surprise.
one that happened blew a manhole cover 6 feet into the air.
I know.
We still don't know what happened.
I know. We're working on at least 3 manhole covers this time around. So it was going to be a big surprise. You kind of let the cat out of the bag, I'm sorry to say.
Johnson.
Yeah, you should just. All right. Anyway, here, this is something. Anyone ever get an overdue notice from your local Library of Congress?
Wait.
This is too much. The Library of Congress gets a copy of every book published in the United States, print or digital. It's part of how copyright is established. It is a research library, not one where kids go to check books out.
Okay.
Making the criticism of placing inappropriate books in the Library of Congress for children factually incorrect and irrelevant to its function. And I'm reacting basically to this comment. This is cut 86, all right, from Caroline Levitt about the Library of Congress. It's almost shocking. Let's listen.
Question, the president fired the Librarian of Congress. Why did he choose to do that?
We felt she did not fit the needs of the American people. There were quite concerning things that she had done at the Library of Congress in the pursuit of DEI and putting inappropriate books in the library for children, and we don't believe that she was serving the interests of the American taxpayer well, so she has been removed from her position, and the president is well within his rights to do that.
Oh, okay. He's within his rights to do what? She put the wrong books into the Library of Congress?
Wow. How could that happen?
You know, it's that DEI policy that they keep using over and over again. And, kids don't check out books in the Library of Congress. It just doesn't happen.
I don't think they have that function, no.
The fact that they're using anti-DEI racism to cleanse our society of anything that isn't white is just starting to get under my craw a little bit. My mega friend in Milwaukee also repeated what Trump has said about this. DEI is racist. Full stop. That's how they describe it. All right. Trump has essentially declared DEI thinking forbidden.
Right.
Illegal.
Yes. That's according to him.
Yeah. And he's using coercive threats of defunding and boycotting anyone freely expressing themselves. I think there's something in the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Kind of
yeah.
thing.
Isn't this the very definition of government censorship?
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing has been happening to me recently on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Powered by algorithms, of course, just kind of feeds you whatever it wants to feed you to keep you on there.
Yes.
It's been, for whatever reason, feeding me random racist content from weird right-wing content creators.
Wow.
And I've been getting these right-wing, I guess, political cartoons.
Yeah.
Here they're complaining about DEI. Meanwhile, I guess they're just trying to push actual racism on people who obviously don't want it.
Yeah.
Maybe the algorithm knows that you're going to become a teacher next in your profession.
They're trying to influence you.
And they're trying to influence you before you get into the profession.
They're 3 moves ahead of me in this game of chess.
Exactly.
Okay. That must be it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
By the way, we got this information in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this came from.
We were handed a few flyers at the night market last Thursday from some organizers in the community about some events and rallies coming up. And the next one's on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, 5 p.m. at the Capitol Steps on State Street. There's going to be a rally outside the Capitol there. They'll have speakers beginning at 5:30. It's all about state employees. State Worker Power presents this rally. You can join state employee union members and their supporters and call on state leaders to reinforce state programs under the threat from federal funding cuts and protect the public during this crisis. They'll also be collecting donations for UAW 291.
Yep.
And this happens Wednesday at 5 o'clock on the Capitol Steps. Save Our Services, Save Our State rally. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right.
I've got something here from The Daily Show, and the tariffs.
Okay.
I guess there's a big deal going on here. The U.S. and China, they are lowering their tariffs now.
Right. Yeah, down to
A little,
80%.
a little bit.
Just 80%
Yes.
instead of 100 and whatever
But
it
it's
was.
a compromise
125%.
by both parties at this point. But,
Sure.
there is something new. We were talking about all the $30 that people won't be able to, children will not be able to get their $30.
Right.
Well, here's an ad from The Daily Show. Check it out.
Okay.
10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl doesn't need $37.
Hey, 10 or 9 or 15-year-old girls, when you can only have one doll, there's only one doll to have. Tariff Tilly, the perfect companion to help you ride out our magical trade war.
I love playing alone with you.
Tariff Tilly is the ideal replacement for those 37 dolls you want but do not need.
China's eating our lunch. That chair Jerome Powell is a loser. Lower rates now.
You'll love playing with Tariff Tilly during off-work hours.
It's 5 a.m. Time for your shift at our onshore lithium factory.
And don't forget to grab Tariff Tilly's hottest new accessory.
Thing that you carry the babies around in.
That's right, Tariff Tilly's thing you carried the babies around in. Now just $7,000. And now you can feed Tariff Tilly with real American-made baby formula. Uh-oh, looks like you got a tainted badge.
Oh, a health inspector's got dosed.
Import Tariff Tilly to your playroom today. Available Christmas 2029.
Oh, boy. So, hey, maybe the administration could pick up on that and make a little money. Part of their grift that they're in the process of right now. No person in the history of the U.S. has made more money off being a president.
Yes.
Or at least even
So
running
Trump.
for president.
Unbelievable.
Right? It's not even close. Trump testified in his New York deposition that the value of his brand went from $3 billion to $10 billion the day he got elected in 2016. He's bragging about that. The emoluments clause. What happened to that? And that's before he started the grift line of products that he has.
Yes.
Here's 2 minutes, really.
What do you
He's
want
got the
from me?
crypto.
Do you want me to slow down the time?
Could you speed up the time of this cut? No, never mind.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it is truly an amazing thing to watch all of this happen before our very eyes.
The grift just keeps happening.
Yeah, it keeps happening. I don't know what the heck, right?
Got the crypto coin. We're working on our own John and Gordy crypto coins. So far, we haven't gotten very far with that project.
No, we really
Got to
haven't.
push that along. Yeah.
What's holding us up? Is it the material?
Yeah, the materials that the coins are made out of
Yeah.
have tariffs on them now.
Yeah.
Well, I know. See, we have to check.
We're going to
that.
make like balsa wood coins.
And
and there's
and I understand that we're waiting for the laws to change to allow more child labor in the state, so so we can make it real cheap,
like we're working on it. This portion of John and Gordy in the morning
so
is
easy to beat Trump, isn't it?
Oh, I know. It's just this portion of the show brought to you by MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. You've heard all about it from John Peterson.
That's right.
Yeah. You're what, a couple of weeks into using the hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center?
I am, and it's really fantastic. I use it for watching the movies at home. I have the best sound system in the world, but now I can hear a lot of the dialogue because, I tuned up the high ends, which I've lost over time. Damn concerts. Oh, my God.
The rock shows that you went to.
Oh, I know.
Blew out your hearing.
I know. And
But
it uses all the latest technology, AI. It's able to drown out a lot of the background noise. You can hear the actual discussions and talking around you.
It's MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. That's MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Back with our guests from the Comfy Cauldron next. Yeah, right. Even touching it or
Okay,
almost
how's
touching.
that?
That's good. Can you hear yourself okay?
I can hear
Is
myself.
it too
okay.
loud or too soft?
I don't think so.
We'll be talking like this. So,
Yeah.
hey. You can
Yeah,
hear
that's pretty good.
Okay. Now we're going to shut it off.
Okay.
I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He said that...
Well, it was a big deal in the old days when you could sing along to that.
Right.
And now I'm embarrassed that I actually liked the Chipmunks at the time. But, you know, it's,
there you
it's a
You
long,
were a
winding
kid.
road of music.
I liked him as a kid.
Sure.
Now I can't stand him.
I know, I can't stand him.
92.7 WMDX, it's 7:53.
Yes,
John and Gordy, along with our guest, Jennifer McFarlane. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good
It's
to have
the
you here.
Comfy Cauldron.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you explain the Comfy Cauldron to us?
You're in Deforest, right?
Yes, we are.
yes.
We're
Okay.
right across from the Veterans Memorial Park in Deforest. It's a beautiful little location. We have a nice big lawn and a river running next to us.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And what do you do there? What's the Comfy Cauldron all about?
So I am a psychic. I delve in the spiritual realms. I talk to the dead.
Oh, you
I
do?
read tarot cards. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How's Jerry Garcia doing nowadays? So,
He asked me to say hi when I got
Oh,
here.
okay,
so-
great. Yeah, well, you know, we were big friends back
Yeah.
in the day. I want to ask you, do the spirits sound pretty much like they did when they were living, or is there like a ghostly sound to their voices when you're talking to them?
To be honest, everyone is different. For me, I can hear some of them telepathically, and some of them I can actually hear audibly. Depends on the spirit's ability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, telepathically, I didn't. You threw me a curveball on that. I wasn't. I never heard of that. Okay.
John saw a ghost when he was a kid, right?
You did?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old were you?
Well, an apparition, actually. I was about 5 or 6, crawling around on the floor of an old farmhouse where they farmed. And I went into the parlor, which they kept closed because they stored stuff in it. And I went in there investigating, and there was a piece of cloth, and I pulled on it and realized it was actually somebody's pants. I looked up, and it was an old man looking down at me. I ran out of there screaming, of course, and there was nobody really in there, but I experienced that.
That's how I got where I am. I didn't choose to be this person.
Mhm.
I had several paranormal experiences that kind of led me to realizing I'm a little bit different than other people.
Yeah.
And so now, instead of running from that, I run into it and I help other people understand it
There you
and
go.
speak to people that they can't have a full conversation with anymore.
Yeah.
Brings a lot of closure, a lot of love, a lot of understanding of where to go in your life. And then the slice of heaven is where we help them to gather and kind of maybe palate me better because, like you said, I throw curveballs.
Yes, you do.
Well, let's talk about this event that's coming up this coming Saturday, right? Saturday, May 17th from 10 till 4 in Deforest. And where is this happening in Deforest? At your business?
Yes. So like I said, we had that big, beautiful lawn. We set up all of our vendors in there. I believe we're over 40. Starbucks is going to be giving away free hot and cold coffee to all of our guests. The first 30 people in the door, we do have a little gift for that come up to the Comfy Cauldron. And then we have a wonderful variety of offerings from local talents and businesses.
Like handcrafted items, that kind of thing?
Yeah, all kinds of stuff, handcrafted items. They can get services. There'll be other psychics there. There's all kinds of stuff to do.
So people, if they're intending to go, then should clear out their thought process, because you guys are going to dig deep into their brains.
What happens when you get a bunch of psychics
what
together?
happens? Can you predict what each
Everything
other's
levitates. Everything
Okay. Wow. Well, this is a free event. It's also I'm looking at a poster here that you have on Facebook, on your website here, and it says it's a family event.
Yes.
Right? So you got some stuff for the kids happening?
Yes, we do. We've got some stuff for the kids. We've got some prizes, and there's a lot of the vendors that do, like, it's really big to crochet plushies right now. So we have a lot of different, we have a lot of different offerings that our vendors make for children. It's beautiful. And that's kind of what we aim for, is all ages, because like you said, I was a child who didn't understand what was going on for me. You had an experience.
Yeah.
I want to be an adult that can help those children.
So this is a second annual event.
Yes.
Did this last year. Again, Slice of Heaven, makers, bakers, and healers.
Yes.
That's the collection of more than 40 vendors there, right? Okay.
Yeah, because we got to eat too. I love me some food.
Are they mostly from Deforest, or they come from all over?
They come from all over, honestly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent.
So,
Again,
I mean, you have candles in the shop, you have crystals in the shop, and all of that kind of adds to what, the ambiance, or what a person's home, I don't know, adding something to your room, right?
Yes, it does add to the aesthetic, but I do work, I am a witch, so I do work with witchcraft. I do move energy, so the crystals, the candles, all of those help to call upon the energy that you're wanting in your space or in your life. Each one of them holds a different vibration, like rose quartz, that'll help you love yourself more. You'll notice that your decisions start to be made from a place of loving yourself instead of hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Jennifer, if people want to find out more about the event that's, again, taking place this coming Saturday from 10 to 4 in Deforest, what's the best place to go?
Head on over to our Facebook. We also have a Facebook event page. It tells you all about the vendors and everybody who's going to be there.
All right. Did you watch the series on Disney, the spinoff from Wanda the Witch? Her Neighbor had a spin-off series on Disney, and they were all a group of witches getting together. Was there anything that offended you on that, or did you watch it?
I did watch it, and honestly, those witch shows are wonderful. I don't find offense in any of them. I feel like any way that they can start exposing children to that in a positive way is wonderful, or our culture as a whole.
All right.
Excellent. Well, Jennifer, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the event Saturday.
Melanie, thanks for being here as well.
Yeah. And again, it's Saturday in Deforest at the Comfy Cauldron, downtown Deforest, 10 to 4 this Saturday. The Slice of Heaven. Okay. That's going to do it for John and Gordy. Coming up next, Stephanie Miller. And tomorrow we will be talking with Lisa Bernard from the Dane County Humane Society. And don't forget, Wednesday, we're back at short staff.
And we've got Idiocracy as usual.
Okay.
Horror stories from this administration.
Have a great day. We'll talk to you in 22 hours.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy